Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're doing something a little different. We haven't made any of these videos before, but we thought we might sprinkle them in throughout the year. So we are doing a top 10 games we've played in May.
Yeah, we've had a couple of great events that we've attended or hosted during the month of May that made it so we had to play an exceptionally large number of games and a large number of great games at that. So, for instance, for Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you, we hosted a Star Wars Day and played a lot of great Star Wars games. Also went to a board game convention called Geekway to the West and played a bajillion great games. And we just have gotten a chance to play some games that we're going to be possibly reviewing in the future, and games that we had previously reviewed, all kinds of stuff. We just played great games this month. Wanted to talk about some of them.
So I'm going to kick off our list by talking about number 10, which is Fairy Circle. This was a very sweet, simple game. I played it with our daughters. Essentially, you're building these mushrooms. You're building a fairy circle out of mushrooms, and then you're moving your fairy around. Now, when you move your fairy around, determined by the card you place down, there's a number telling you where to move it. Wherever it lands, even if it's on a different person's player board, whatever type of mushroom that is, they get to take that action. However, you also get to take that action if you also have that type of mushroom on your board. And most of these actions give you points. You're trying to collect all these, I don't remember what they call them in the game, like dewdrops or something. You're trying to collect these points, or these dewdrops, and then once you get 20 of them, you can turn those in for a point. It was very fun, very simple. The girls understood it right away, and I just liked how you're trying to map out where people are going to land based on what you have on your board.
All right, I want to say an honorable mention real quick to Euchre. I got a chance to play Euchre. I never get to play Euchre, and I love Euchre. It's probably my number one favorite ticking game. Even though it's just a
We did a top 10, remember?
Yeah, but things can change.
Yeah, no, it didn't though. We did a top 10, our top 10 favorite card games, so go ahead and check out that video. But Euchre was our number one.
Yes, and guess what? I still love that. Yeah. And I did get a chance to play it this month. So shout out to Vicky for being my partner and beating Bethany and Sandy. It was a lot of fun.
We'll have other games.
Let's play some more Euchre in the future. All right, so on to my real number 9, which is Star Wars Imperial Assault. We had a Star Wars Day, like I mentioned, and just played Star Wars games back to 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 back because we are nerds and because I love Star Wars.
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now.
That was incidental. I never played Imperial Assault before. We played Journeys in Middle Earth. We played Mansions in Madness. Those kind of use a very, very similar system, all from Fantasy Flight. But even though this is a Star Wars game and I love that system and I love Star Wars, I just never had a chance to buy it or play it. We played several scenarios, the intro scenario and a couple points past that as well. And it's definitely a campaign where you're kind of a lot of your guns and your abilities all stuff kind of roll over to the next game. So we'll be playing it again in the future, I'm sure, because it was so much fun and we had already built up some stuff. So now it's like a good way to hook you back in and kind of keep you playing. It's like, well, now I want to use that cool thing I just achieved and haven't had a chance to use yet. So I really like that. Imperial Assault is basically a app-driven dungeon crawl in a Star Wars world where you're all rebels facing off against the evil empire, and the app runs it for you. You can do it cooperatively, or you can play it as without the app, where one player is kind of like a GM style role. They run the empire, and everybody else plays against them as an many versus one. But I prefer the co-op version where the app does the bad stuff for you.
All right, my number 8 is Harmonies, and this is a tile drafting game where you're taking these tiles, you're putting them on your board, and you're trying to create ecosystems for the different wildlife that is available. There's different cards that come out, and you have to get them in certain orders. You have to draft these tiles in certain orders to support the different wildlife that's out there. As some of you know, I am kind of on this solo journey. About a year ago, I decided I want to try to play some more games solo. It's because I'm a boring person. I just don't like a lot of contemporary entertainment. And so this is what I find entertaining right now. And so it was fun to be able to do this. I always get stressed out playing a game solo that I've never actually played before. So I actually haven't done that. I've only played games solo that I've played normal before. I don't know, how do you call it?
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer, that's the way. So I was able to teach this to myself, and it was just a good experience that I was able to take this little game. I hadn't seen it before, and I was able to read the rule book and just play it, and I had a fun time trying to compete with myself and try to score a higher number. So that was Harmonies.
Next one on my list, this is number 7, Mezan. Mezan is from Arcane Wonders. I think they brought it over from another distributing channel. But basically, this is a tile game, but the tiles have a Tetris-y thing going on. You're given a parameter, and you're trying to make that parameter happen with all these different pictures on the different animals and trees. But then, once you score them, you're going to remove tiles, and everything's going to kind of slide down, and you're going to put the tiles back in, but flipped over this time, giving you new pictures and new things that you're going to be able to make. And you also have the future parameter of what the next scoring round is going to be. So you're trying to, at the same time as making the current round setup, you're also trying to kind of look ahead to see if you can kind of set up some things to make the next round's scoring parameter score maximum amount of points as well. It was just a really clever game that involved this kind of this Tetris-y gravity thing, but all had this kind of this early, not prehistoric is not quite right, but this early artwork that you got to kind of create. It's all celebrating this life around this Mezan River, which is really, really cool to learn about. I enjoyed that a lot.
My number 6, speaking of solo, is Snowfall Over Mountains, which is a solo game. It is designed for one player. That player is me. I actually have this game currently in my purse right now. I've been taking it with me wherever I go. And so I have been able to play this a couple of times when I have like a 15-minute coffee break at work. I just pull this out because I can get a game played in that time. So I have been doing that. I might need to cycle it out for a different solo game. But for right now, I just really like having a game that I can play in 15 minutes in my bag at all times. And this is the one.
All right, number 5, this is Lord of the Rings Duel from Middle-earth. This is based off of Seven Wonders Duel, which was based off of Seven Wonders. So it's like this weird trickle effect. But to me, in my opinion, this is like the penultimate version, or the ultimate version of that system. It takes the Seven Wonders Duel drafting between 2 players, and keeps the card drafting the same, but kind of changing up the win conditions a little bit. And gives it a really, really solid theme because, let's be real, the Seven Wonders theme is fairly... It doesn't feel like you're building the Seven Wonders or whatever. I don't know. I've never felt that anyways. But in Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle-earth, you actually have this... the Black Riders are chasing Frodo and the Ring Bear, and then the Ring Bear is kind of get to Mount Doom. So you have this little kind of track that's chasing each other. You have this area control part of the map where you're trying to take over various parts of Middle-earth, and you're also trying to win over the different various factions. There's like Ents and Dwarves and Orcs and all this stuff going on. So it feels more thematic, which brings new life to Seven Wonders Duel, that system. And, of course, the card art is amazing, and the theming really came through. This is my favorite version of that system.
Our number 4 is, but first, I did really enjoy that. That was a very fun game. I really like the tracker on that. Okay, our number 4 is Alpine Trails, and this is just a tile drafting, tile laying game. I was able to play this with our youngest, and it's really fun just when you're raising gamers, just to see them think and to see them play and make the connections on stuff like that. In this game, you are playing, you're playing tiles, and there's different types of trails that you can go on, rocky or meadow or forest, and so you're trying to connect those, have the longest route in all of those. And then also there might be animals that you're putting on your board, and you want to surround waterfalls or all sorts of stuff. There's little campsites that go on there, so it has these cute little bits while you're also doing this tile laying thing that kind of encompasses a large area. So this was just a fun, simple, sweet little tile laying game that it was fun to be able to play with my 8-year-old.
So, our number 3 game is Australas, and that is definitely all about our 8-year-old as well. We played this at Geekway to the West, and it was one of the games that was in the Play to Win section, which is so much fun. You just check all these different games, and you have a chance of winning one, which is really, really cool. This particular game, it was a fairly big box. I was a little worried about the intensity of it, but it had a big sea turtle on it too. So it's like, this is going to be right up our 8-year-old's alley. She loves sea turtles. But we were playing with, her and I were playing with 2 other people, two adults, and, whenever you're playing with an 8-year-old, you're, like, worried that, oh, no, they're going to think that, like, she's, like, a kid, and she is a kid, of course.
She is a kid, but she's not a game. She's a gamer kid.
She's a gamer kid, right?
Yeah.
And so you're worried,
They're
like...
different.
She's going to bug them, or, they're not going to like the fact that they're having to play with a kid, or, they're not going to, they're either going to baby her, or they're going to disrespect the fact that she is, or whatever. But here's the thing. No, first of all, we have great gamer friends that have been exposed to gamer kids and know that they are capable and fun to be around. And so not to worry about that. But here's the other kicker. She won. She dominated. She beat me and the other two guys as well. And we all four had a great time. It was just, she brought this energy and this life to this game. It was so endearing. She was just moving these little turtles around and these little combat dice and all this different stuff going on. And she was just like rolling and having a great time. Even when she made a bad move, it was just fun and energetic and great to be around. It endeared me greatly to this game, and even more so to my friends, and to her, and to Geekway. Oh gosh, I'm having a moment here. I loved it all, and it was just so much fun to see all that happen. We will be reviewing that soon, so I'll probably tell that story again, so sorry in advance. But
it's a sweet story. It's a cool story.
We'll be actually talking about the gameplay more so than just the
Yes.
fact that it was just so cool to play with her and all my friends.
Yes. Our number 2 is Inventors of the South Tigris. We have played Scholars. Right?
Scholars of the South Tigris.
Yes, and that is a great game. And this is also a great game. I feel a little sorry for Ryan, though, because this was also the play to win. And he was like, yeah, go ahead and pick out a game. And I was like, I kind of want to play something heavier. And he's like, that's fine. And so I checked this out, and it was not fine.
It was like the heaviest game in the universe. It's rated a 4.39 weight. If you're on BGG at all, you know that means that's an insanely heavy game to just kind of pick up cold and learn it cold from the rule book. Usually at this point I would have watched some videos or tried to read it on a rule book on my own before,
So I made Ryan learn it like cold with me and another one of our friends just sitting there like. But it was.
I thought she was gonna get like a dice game or something. No, she brings.
I literally said I want to
big
play
guns.
something heavier. Like I said that. I was very clear about
I had
what I wanted
researched
to
a ton
happen.
of games beforehand. This
Yeah.
was not one of them.
You should have said not this game. You said these are the options. But anyway, with all of that, it was so fun. Oh my gosh. There's a few different iconographies that I wasn't familiar with. A lot of these games use the same iconography, which makes it easier to learn other games in their system because they all use the same thing. But they did something a little bit different, so some of the icons were new in this game to me. But still, a lot of them were familiar. But it's one of those things, like all their games are, once you start going, once you play a round or two, it really just makes sense. You're playing this game, and yes, it is this big, heavy, complex game, but once you start doing it, it's not anymore. What's complex about it is just winning. Like figuring out
putting together a winning strategy.
Putting together a winning strategy. At this point, I always say all the time that one of the fun things about playing with our 8-year-old right now, even though she's gravitating out of this, as shown by Ryan's story, is she understands rule sets pretty easily, but she doesn't understand strategy. That's how I was for this game. I got the rules. I could not figure out strategy, but it was so much fun. I really, really, really like this, and I need to see if our game store owns it, just so you know, Ryan.
I think we've still got some store credit somewhere, so we can make that happen.
Christmas is in 6 months.
Also, though, Clank Legacy 2. We gotta pick that one up, too.
Yes, oh my gosh.
That's like...
I don't know if you're watching this, Sarah, but that is happening. It will happen, I promise.
Very much looking forward to that.
Yes.
All right, on to the number 1 game we played in May of 2025. That is Endeavor Deep Sea. I had played Endeavor back in the 1940s. That's not true. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
You weren't even alive in the 1940s. Your parents weren't even alive in the 1940s.
I don't know what it was, but it was a long time ago. It was at least 8 years ago. And I had played Endeavor, and I remember thinking I really liked it. It had this cool kind of track system where you were kind of gaining these different abilities as you kind of raise everything up. There was a map. I don't remember much about it. I remember liking it a lot. But then I never played it again. It kind of just disappeared off of my memory for a few years. And then all of a sudden, there's Endeavor Deep Sea, which is a whole new thing using some similarities from the original Endeavor system. And there was... it was so fun. Every single action was fun. Every round, you had these... You kind of did your kind of income phase that gave you certain action tokens that you could use. You had certain characters that you were gaining as well, and you would use they had their own action spots on them that you would be able to use and activate. You're gaining these subs, and these subs would have a certain amount of movement, and just you were able to explore using sonar, and that allowed you to go deeper and deeper and deeper as you're exploring the deep sea. And the deeper you go, the benefits you get are wilder and wilder, and you never know what you're going to find. It's a true exploration game as these tiles are uncovered as you're doing the sonar. Sometimes you just find a big old whale. Sometimes you find these underwater caves. Sometimes you find a shipwreck, or whatever the case is. So it was really fun to play this game. It was incredibly thematic, which was more than I can say for the original Endeavor. And at the same time, it uses that same track system that made every single round feel very, very satisfying as your engine built higher and higher and faster.
Well, everybody, those are our top 10 games of May, but who cares about that? We want to hear from you. What's a game that you played this month that you just really love? Doesn't even have to be new to you. It can be just a game you played this month, new to you, whether you played it a million times and you just played it again because you love it that much. Let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know if you want us to continue doing these types of videos. Let us know. We want to do what you want us to do.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks for watching our shenanigans. As always, we appreciate it. Over here, if you follow this link, you're going to find a playlist we've handcrafted just for you, because you watched this video.
And if you check over here, this is a video that YouTube thinks you might like. So you can check that out if you want as well.
All right, we appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.